Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Chad Riley. I have had a pretty weird weekend. I don't really know how I'm supposed to work in 3 hours, less than 3 hours, and I don't know how this video is gonna go. I'm pretty tired. Probably gonna record this video and go back to sleep till I have to go to work. My dog's playing with a toy, so if you hear random bouncing, that's that. I think this was a pretty good week, from what I heard, so we'll jump in. Alrighty then, first game of the week, we got WSS.Harpies versus For the Memes. Let's jump in. Another Outward Destroyer, kinda... Oh, so this is an off-lane Tree and Protector. That's interesting. Got Holy Locket though. Unless this was a core Jakiro, I guess that would make more sense, but no items past 24 minutes, so I'm not really sure. Harpies, they're going with, you got Bristleback and Medusa. I usually think that's a little greedy. I like the mid Lena right now, but I just think these cores are a little bit greedy. Bristleback's not the best space creator. I think Lena's pretty good though, if you get off to a hot start. So I don't mind this draft. I'll probably, I mean, I don't really know what's going on here. I would say this is the most core of the supports. So I'm going to go with Harpies here, but I think this is a little bit greedy. I'm very curious to see how Jakiro or Tree and Protector did. I mean, it could just be 2, 3.5s, but I'm very curious. Oh, the sound was off with the vanish. Yeah, this Lena's caught out a little bit. Really good Tree and Protector ulti there. Catches everyone. Oh, good Wyvern ulti during the Medusa ulti. Dude, that Wyvern heal is ridiculous. Oh my god, that's so annoying. That is so annoying. What is going on? Oh my god! Medusa's insane.
Thanks for playing Dota 2.
Game number 2. We got Harpies rocking with a pretty good 4 Protect 1 lineup, it looks like. I mean, again, you got this Lena, which I think obviously they put mid last time, so now they're flexing it to 4. So it's always good to draft heroes like that. Their first pick too. Acts pretty good. I think Void Spirit's meh right now. But then, so you go Lena, which is a lot of flex, but then you just draft the Void Spirit, so that kind of defeats the purpose of drafting the flex early on, I think. Unless they were constantly banning Void Spirit. For the memes, this is a lot of team fight. So it looks like mid Bounty Hunter. I think he's playing 4 position. I think Robbie's the offlane. He played offlane Spirit Breaker. 4 position Jakiro. Mid Bounty's very interesting to me. Looks like he did a lot of damage. You're against a Void... So yeah, once you see the Void Spirit, I think that's a fine matchup for you. If you're against Alina, I think you're kind of screwed. But against the Void Spirit, I think that's fine. I like For the Memes draft here. I think it's a little bit wonky. I like the offlane Spirit Breaker and the mid Bounty are 2 picks I wouldn't necessarily recommend. But between the Jakiro and the Voids, or the Faceless Void, I like it. I wonder what the advantage to an Echo Saber bounty is. Oh, that silence from the Void Spirit was pretty convincing. Oh, the bash, and then the Void Spirit. How did I get through all those creeps, actually? That was nuts. Really good team fight for Harpies here. So, a 1-1 out of this series, pretty interesting. Game 1 was super brawly. I know, actually, Tara was literally just painting me in the Discord about this game. 80 kills in 38 minutes is insane. I mean, they were just fighting. I mean, look at the... I literally didn't know what fight to show. There's so many different fights that went on. Team wipe there, team wipe there. Actually, might not have been a bad fight had I shown that. A bunch of deaths. Probably should have shown that. Anyway, yeah, I ended up showing this fight because this was like the swing and gold. Very brawly though. Very good game. I actually think that game is very entertaining. This game, again, 80 kills in 38 games or 38 minutes. What the heck? I didn't know what to show here either. I think I ended up showing like this fight or something. No, this fight. I literally have no idea. It was just, again, very brawly. I should have shown the I kind of want to show this this fight. 4 for 3 to start the game. I don't know. Anyway, very entertaining. Very good series. I mean, these guys just decided to go at it. Fight literally whenever they could. So, very entertaining, actually. Maybe series of the week. First series off, have something like this is kind of crazy, but I like it a lot. Second series of the week, we have Copium Krab versus Extra. So I'm curious now. They do have Dan Rather now, so let's see how they do. Jumping in, offlane DK, mid Viper, kinda greedy. You don't really have anyone great at space creating. Now again, I mean, you have a Nyx Assassin who kind of does that. That's your initiation, but otherwise you don't really have any initiation here, which is the immediate problem I see. Copium, Terrorblade's mad good right now. This is a good combo. Lion's pretty popular in AD2L. I think this is a really solid overall draft. I like this a lot. They got this Terrorblade too. If you can play Terrorblade in Archon League, I feel like you're a pretty good team. I don't know matchups wise how any of these heroes stack up. Sorry guys, I just don't know that much about the game. I'm gonna go Copium here. It seems pretty well rounded. I don't really see too much flaws. Maybe you need a little bit more wave clear. All your wave clear, you kind of have to be in the wave, but I mean, Extra doesn't have that much either, so I think it's fine. So they smoke up, DK blinks in. Again, that's your only initiation though. I mean, there's a really good AA ulti following up that DK stun, but there's not much you can do. They're gonna split up this fight. They're gonna catch the Mars there, but this Terrorblade is just doing work against that Spectre backline. Will's making the space here. They are gonna go down, maybe. Not sure. Could send a Dan Rather there, but I don't think you can stop these guys, unfortunately. Buyback on the DK and buyback on the Lion. Game number 2. Is this an offlane sniper? What is happening? Oh, it's a safe lane sniper. Okay. I thought I saw a Toast offlane sniper and then Beastmaster offlane, and I was like, what? Is it a safe lane silencer, Dan Rather? That was kind of crazy. So safe lane sniper, mid OD. Kind of strange. Again, Beastmaster's also fallen out of favor. You didn't even get the upgrade helm, so I'm not really sure why you go Beastmaster there. I guess for the axes, maybe. Copium, they get the Terrorblade in. I mean, now this is where I have an issue here. You have 3 cores that all need farm. I mean, DK can kind of make it with like Blink Ags, but you don't even get the Ags here. I mean, so look at how hard it falls off. You get Blink at 17 minutes. That's great. You don't get another item till 33, which is Black Keen Bar. Then you don't get another item till 60 minutes. So I know obviously you got the shard somewhere in there, but that's tough. I mean, that's how slow your farm can be in an offlane DK. You have 2 heroes that kind of want to do the same thing, so I have a little bit of an issue there. Neither of them can really make space for the other, so you're really fighting 3v4, 3v5, I mean 5, because you don't really have anyone on this lineup that needs that much farm. This one's pretty wonky. You have like 1 stun. You have the Outward Destroyer, but it's kind of tough. I think I'm going to go with Extra here. It's a little bit more of a wonky draft, but I think it works. I think you're going to have some farm priority issues here with Copium Krab, and your farm distribution might be a little off. Smoke. This is a good smoke play. They smoked all the way around the back. They're going to wrap on the back line here. Huge smoke play there. Good banish to stick the sniper there. I love why I went against the Beastmaster.
They're unstoppable.
Oh, how did that? Terrorblade not die. And then he sunders his Jakira. They do kill the Templar Assassin. They're rather gonna kill the... Oh, he is gonna kill the Jakira. The Jakira still had the Silencer Q on him. Oh no, you should definitely back. You're out, Ogre. Oh. Alright, so this was a 2-0 for Copium Krab, but this was a really good series. So, game 1, Copium Krab played really well. I mean, it was close for 35 minutes, this team fight. The one I showed ended up kind of being the edge, gave the edge to Copium, and then they held their advantage. They took another good team fight here. They were able to win. Game 2, Extra were actually ahead till pretty late in the game at 36 minutes. Did I show? Yeah, so this is what I showed. They were taking high ground. Then they played, I think they lost the team fight here. And then there's those 2 separate team fights. And then, so Copium just hit their timing. I mean, again, they have this really greedy draft, right? So eventually these guys are going to take off. You actually expect the TA to take off a little bit more in the mid game. Looks like they had more of a late game. I mean, you know, Divine Rapier obviously is a late game item. This was just crazy. Everyone was super farmed. So yeah, really good series out of Copium Krab. And Extra, Copium remains at the top. Extra did not play bad at all, so they're still a really good team, and they're up there for sure. But good 2-0 by Copium. Alrighty, the third series we have here is the InstiGators versus the Prancing Roosters. This was obviously my series, so I'm a little bit biased. I know a little bit more than other series, but we'll jump in. Prancing Roosters, they go with the last pick Disruptor here in the 24 spot. I feel like you should pick someone who changes the game if you go in last pick. Disruptor doesn't really do that much, especially against the team we already had established. I didn't think Disruptor was that crazy, but I mean, they got the cores. This guy, they picked the Invoker really early. Obviously, they have a lot of confidence in their Invoker. The Disruptor did pretty well anyway, despite me thinking you shouldn't save your 5 position. I guess this was a 4 position for your last pick, so I don't know. Anyway, I think our draft's issues were we have basically these 2 heroes want to like counter initiate and blow up people. So, you know, hook shot onto someone or barrel strike onto someone. And then these 3 heroes want the fight to kind of be elongated. You want, as Viper and Medusa, you kind of want them to go on you because you can tank through it all. And then the Oracle obviously can save either of them if they go down. So our draft was a little bit not consistent in what we wanted to do. So I really like Prancing Roosters draft for that. I actually think Disruptor Juggernaut's a sick lane, but they ended up putting in line with the Juggernaut Disruptor with the Underlord. That is what I would have changed. If I was Prancing Roosters, I would have switched, put Disruptor with Juggernaut, because that's a really good lane, and put line with the Underlord. Otherwise, I like Prancing Roosters draft a lot here. I think it's pretty good. It's a really good move by them. The Medusa TP'd bottom, and they instantly rosh off it. That was a really smart play. I'm going to be a little bit antsy here. I should just be waiting for the rest of my team to get here. They're all just a little bit slow. I think I hookshot a little early. Unfortunately. So we get... Clockwork got blown up. We did get Disruptor ulti on me, so which is kind of huge, but then the Sandcane ulti went on 2 heroes with BKB, so it didn't do anything. And then we get split up here because the Medusa's trying to kill the supports back here, so they're able to just kill everyone else. I should probably... I mean, I actually think I should just back there. I think if I can keep the Medusa alive here... Our target priority is just so all over the place. I like try to do one thing and then the rest of our team does the other. If I can keep the Medusa alive, the Medusa can definitely kill everyone there. If I had any detection for the Invoker there on my dieback, I did. I just didn't use it. I thought he died, I think, actually. So unfortunate. Game number 2. Oh. I'm just a terrible person, guys. I play techies. What are you gonna do? I feel like... Let me explain it a little bit. I mean, our draft is all over the place. We literally had no idea who was gonna play what until we got to the draft phase. Then, even then, we didn't know where people were gonna go in lanes. We ended up going with Carry Slaughter, mid, Drow, off lane, Bristle. It was kind of wonky. I think it's really greedy, but we have a techies to delay the game. The reason I picked techies is because up until here, I have picked at 23. They have an Ursa, an Underlord, and a Lone Druid. So all their cores are basically melee. I mean, Lone Druid I kind of consider melee. I know his hero's ranged, but the bear is melee, and that's the core in that situation. And it's like, if you have 3 cores, like, techies is such a good pick. So I had to pick it. I feel so bad, but I had to do it. Then they last picked a 4-position Sandcane, which I don't really like. I feel like you should pick something ranged here. I mean, even 4-position Zeus, I think, would have been better. It's such a lame counter to techies, but it is a counter. And I think one of the things lacking this game was the finding all the techies mines so you guys can blow them up. So I think I'll go with our draft here. I'm definitely biased. I just think it's such a good techies game, and our cores are all over the place, but we have flexibility to play them all over the place, which I think gives it a little bit of an edge. Dude, it's such a cheeky spot. You can't see it unless you're literally standing in here. I know this exact fight. Dude, the issue is this Ursa jumps all the way in the back lines, right? But I have so many mines set up, and the fight is so split that he just takes a bunch of damage. Dude, huge freaking blast off there. Unfortunately for him, I have a bunch of mines there. I mean, they do a pretty good job of killing everyone on the team, but this Drow just barely survives, dude. Sand King.
They're unstoppable.
This was a really fun series for me. I assume it wasn't fun for anyone else in the lobby, and I apologize, but I had a lot of fun. Roosters are awesome. They're a great group of people. I love playing against them. They're always nice. They did have a stand-in this game. I wish we had Cedar Boy, but what are you going to do? This first game, I think, could go the other way. I think like this team fight, if that goes a little bit different, the one I showed at the Rush Pit, then we win that game. I think that's just how close it was. And then obviously they did a really good job of, you know, pushing their advantage after they won that team fight. They just took control of the game, so they did a really good job of that. I fed a lot on Clockwork, no big deal. Then game 2, I mean, they were super far ahead. I mean, we see that fight. They were 16k net worth lead ahead after Roche. Then we won that team fight. I think the issue is they just kept taking fights on top of where I had placed mines. If they watch the replay back, they're probably going to be a little mad. It felt like they weren't pushing any lanes because they were afraid I had a bunch of mines there. And so I saw that, so I just didn't place any mines next to towers and just placed them in like jungle. So that team fight in the jungle, there was another one over here somewhere. I mean, you see, they just had control of the game. We would win team fights, but then they would just take control of the game if we weren't fighting, right? So even went down. We lost Drow here and shot back up, but then I think here was a dieback on the Sand Cane, so then we just pushed and won right down mid. So very close game, very back and forth. Good series overall. Love the Prancing Roosters. Okay, 4th series of the week. We got Red 5 standing by versus Midnight.Impulse. This is going to be a hype matchup. I'm excited for this. Let's jump in. They go pretty interesting. So this is a offlane Razor, mid Alchemist, carry, Gyro. So there's not really any initiation. You got the Spirit Breaker, but I feel like that's not great initiation in my biased opinion on Spirit Breaker, because you just dive in and you go on one hero, and sometimes you don't even get the stun off, so it's not a guaranteed initiation, which is my issue with it. And otherwise, I don't think you have any great form of initiation here for Red 5. Midnight.Impulse, I get the Wyvern, which is mad good. Pretty greedy, though. I mean, Storm Spirit needs to farm. Medusa needs to farm. Centaur kind of needs to farm. If you get a good lane stage, you can get away with not farming all that much. But you have a Marana, so it's kind of hard. I guess it's not a bad lane matchup. All right, lane pairing. Interesting. I think I'll go with Midnight.Impulse here. But it's definitely on the greedier side of drafts. I mean, even Marana needs to farm. So I would have liked to see something a little less greedy if you're going to go with this safe lane Medusa or this mid Storm Spirit. This Ags on Medusa is crazy, dude. Good Wyvern ulti, but the Gyrocopter ulti still kills everyone off.
Impossible double kill.
Alright, game number 2. Midnight.Impulse, they go with a Gyrocopter here. They go with a mid Broodmother. Interesting. I don't know if Broodmother is really that much of a mid anymore. I think it's more of an off lane. I like it because you just shut down like a side of the map, whereas the mid lane, everyone can kind of rotate on you. Red 5, they go Necro. I really like this draft, honestly. I mean, the Necro's a little bit weird, but you get Holy Locket. Yeah, you just do so much sustain, so much heal. I actually like Mars against the Broodmother. I like the Necro against the Broodmother. I like this draft a lot by Red 5 standby. I'll go with Red 5 game 2. I think maybe you put the Broodmother off lane, and then you do something a little like a not greedy mid, and then maybe you can take advantage. You just ruin the drow, and then maybe you can ruin the necro as well. But yeah, I like this red 5 draft.
Double kill.
Damn, that next time was crazy.
Impossible kill.
Wow, some really good fight there. I liked a lot how they didn't go on the drow off the rip when the drow had the Aegis. Alrighty, so this series was pretty insane. Let's unpack this. So game 1 was a little bit more both teams spread out farm. You know, you got an alchemist who just wants to farm. The alchemist not die all game. Wow, so really good job by Red 5 prioritizing this alchemist and its farm. And then, yeah, I mean, you also kind of want to farm with a Medusa on your team, so you're also kind of playing passively. But this game too, dude, holy moly, look at the swings in this game. Way back and forth, way back and forth. They almost had mega creeps here, and then they had Aegis on the drow. I think it was a really good play by Midnight.Impulse to just not go on the drow. Drow so squishy and like tempting to just blow up, you know, and get that Aegis. But they use like the Sand King ulti and Gyro ulti and all that to kill the Necrophos and the Mars right off the bat. And without the Necro and Mars, you have no one in the front line for the Drow, and it's just way easier to pick off. So really good job by Midnight.Impulse here. Really good series by both teams. Definitely impressed. I love the way they both played, so good series. Alrighty, the 5th series of the day, we got 6-player versus Dingos. Let's jump in. Dingos, anything crazy? Very interesting. So offlane Bloodseeker here with the Marana in lane. I feel like that lane is going to be rough. Bloodseeker's not that good in lane. You kind of want someone to help you out. And then go with Carry P8, which you just don't see a lot. 6-player, mid Puck's not bad. Offlane Night Stalker's a little bit unconventional. They last pick it too. Pretty interesting. Overall, whose lineup do I like better? I think I'm going to go with 6-player here. I just think this offlane's a little bit weak. I think the safe lane Avenge PA's fine. It's obviously Void's fine, but Marana, Bloodseeker, I think those are two pretty not great laners. I mean, Bloodseeker, once he gets to like 3 or 5, you can just like spam out your W and you'll be fine. But I think you should be able to just bully them out with either Abba or Lion and Gyro. Especially Gyro's like a sick laner. So I see issues there for Dingos.
If you stack those together, you're not going to be blocked down for very long. Looks like the ulti from the Bloodseeker's doing a lot of damage to this. He's used his BKB before Aegis has gone down, so he's going to be a little bit vulnerable here. But he's got to, his whole team comes in, they land a big coil onto Tomb Drop immediately. The Miranda's taken out. That is a full man team wipe. All we lost was our Lion.
Alrighty, game number 2. We got Hoodwink, mid Windrunner, Carry, Lifestealer, offlane Chaos Knight. Holy cow, this is pretty greedy. I hope you went Ags. Did you even go Ags on the Chaos Knight? I don't like, especially if you don't go Ags, I don't like offlane Chaos Knight at all. But 6-player, matching it. They got a lot of greed. You got Magnus. I don't usually like pairing him up with the Sven because your Empower doesn't really do anything for the Sven. Farming wise, obviously damage wise, it's going to be huge. You can follow up an RP with another stun, which is basically another RP. But then you also get a really greedy Bristleback. I would have liked to see something way less greedy. Some kind of a Space Creator or Tower Pusher or Tower Defender. Anything. It feels like all 3 of your cores here can be kited pretty easily. I would have liked to see a Spirit here or something on Dingos that can just get away from these guys really easily, or it can help kite. I don't really know who I like more. I guess I'll go Dingos here. I just wish you went with Ags instead of the Chaos, or instead of whatever the Chaos Knight went. Hoodwink's pretty decent. I like it actually against Bristleback a lot. Middle Windrunner, again, it's a little weird. I wish you went some sort of Spirit Hero.
Looks like Radiant don't want to let their towers fall without a fight. They're going to get aggressively positioned here. It's going to come down to the initiation. Hoodwink misses her stun, so there's not an opportunity there. CK runs in. Magnus grabs the life stealer, but the big stun has gone out on Rady. He's in trouble. The Wind Ranger managed to get ulti on Tyro again. He's been Glimmer Cave. There's no detection. The pull in from the CK.
There you go,
big ulti from Rady. Manages to catch two. The big crits. He's got that deadless finish. He's hitting hard. Oh, Tyro cleans it up.
Alrighty, so a 2-0 for Victoria's Secret 6 player. They are playing so well. Definitely team to watch here. I think game 1, it was pretty close. First 20 minutes in the game. And then they just made good moves around the map. Really no team fights until, you know, this 26-minute one. And then the 30-minute one, which I showed. They do kill the gyro. Well, he has Aegis, but that's not going to do too much. It's a really good job by them game 1. And then game 2, it's like Dingos even had the lead until this fight 20 minutes. And then it looks like, you know, 6 player again just held their lead really well. They took really good fights. And there was really no way for Dingos to come back. So really good good series by Victoria's Secret 6 player. They're definitely a good team in this league. Obviously nothing to be ashamed of for you Dingos. I think 6 player is just really good right now. And you guys are ahead, so good series. Alrighty, our 6th series of the week. We have UnRivaled versus hog.lmao. Let's jump in. Anything crazy in these drafts? You see an Earth Spirit, you don't see that often. And it's actually an off-lane Earth Spirit. That's curious by Hog here. Wow, look at this kill score. 46-24, and UnRivaled get the win. They go with middle Medusa. So this is kind of like... this is how I like to model my drafts. You go, your off lane and your safe lane are like the space creators or scaling heroes, and then your middle is the one that needs all the farm. I don't think Monkey King's really good right now at all. That said, I think Nigma plays it all the time. They seem to have made it look pretty good. Who do I like better? I don't really love this offlane Air Spirit. I don't think the hero's that good right now. You do have this Luna, which I think is mad good. But again, you're against the Medusa. So you have to hit that time in, and then you guys have to win at like 25 or 30 minutes, which is going to be an issue. You don't really have anyone to tank here, which is a issue I see. This is just a little bit too greedy for me. I think I'll go Hog here. I wish you have someone to tank a little bit. You know, you have to someone the front line. It feels like you're kind of missing that. Otherwise, yeah. Otherwise, I like this draft. Gonna smoke up here. Yep, right underneath the ward right here. If you're watching your mini map on your 5 position, either Shaman, yeah, on Shaman or Kitty. Either of you were watching the mini map should have seen that, I think. But they're still gonna catch out this Axe. He's pretty tanky though. It's gonna take them a while to take him down. They do get him though. They don't really want to disengage here though on Rival. It looks like they blow up the Shaman, but he gets the wards down. Jeez, that bunch of teamfight ultis and Rival has 2 heroes remaining. Yeah, you definitely go in here if you're Hog. The issue is you're fighting under Shaman ward, so it's going to be a little bit difficult. It's really hard to kill his Dusa. You drain his mana. Oh, the Satanic, it looks like. I assume that's the Satanic. Yeah. Alrighty, game number 2. UnRivaled, they get their Lone Druid, and then a Drow, Dragon Knight are the other cores here. So this is a 4-position Grimstroke, which I don't hate, but you have no one to pair it with, other than like this Dragon Knight stun. It looks like they're making space for the Drow here, which I don't mind. You can do a bunch. I mean, you can take towers so fast on this team if you win one team fight. Hog, they go offlane Brewmaster. Again, another hero you don't see a lot of in Archon League. I think it's really good. This Puck did absolute work. And then a safe lane. I actually don't mind it. You have I think you even have room to go a little bit greedier on Hog here if you want, instead of this Gyrocopter. Again, the Gyro is just pretty good early game. This is really split pushy. I just love how fast you can take towers here. I mean, you look at their wave push, it's fairly non-existent. I mean, the Wyvern can kind of kill waves, and the puck can shoot spells, but otherwise you have to like be in the lane with Gyro or in the lane with Brewmaster, and these guys just take towers so fast. I don't really know how you have anyone sit in front of a tower. You have to group up as Hog. It's a very team fighty draft, so split push defeats team fight, as we've seen time and time again. So I kind of like this Unrivaled draft. I think maybe you go something a little different than the Drow here if you gotta go all in on this push, but again, Drow's pretty good at pushing, so I don't mind it. Smoke on to Hog, though. Are they gonna catch out? Oh. Could be. He does have Axe on Hog. Oh! That Grimstroke ulti was nuts! The puck does kill the Lich on the back line. Satanic might keep him alive for a little bit. Nope.
Impossible kill.
Wow, that Grimstroke ulti was literally a Ravage. Or not ulti, the Inkswell was a Ravage. Really good series again. It's a 2-0 for Unrivaled here. I don't really know what happened game 1. I didn't watch any of this. This was a really good team fight by Hog, and then it felt... I don't know. I didn't watch any of the game past that, so I can't really tell what happened. I'm assuming that Unrivaled just had really good high ground defense, and it was probably really hard to take high ground. This was probably an Aegis play, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it was probably just really good high ground defense. I don't know. But then game 2, let's see. Game 2, that team fight I showed was a huge swing, and it looks like there was one death the rest of the game. So I think they just took it must have just been not any buybacks, just a bunch of build-ins with this. Maybe like racks, maybe mega creeps. I honestly don't know. I didn't see it. But again, like this end of the game was crazy. So again, it seemed like both games ended fairly strangely. Hog came out really strong both games. It looked like they pushed their advantage. They knew what to do, and they took a good team fight somewhere in there. This game it was this one. Game 2 it was this one. And then they held their advantage, and somehow Unrivaled battled back both games. So again, really good series by both teams. Two very close teams in skill level. So a 2-0, but you know, easily could have been a 1-1, and it looks like it could have also been a 2-0 the other way. So good series. Okay, 7th series of the day. We got Bunnies and Rats versus Hunt Echoes jumping in. Another Treant Protector. I feel like that hero's been popping up a lot this week. You get the Luna, which again is one of the better heroes. Mid Mars, a little bit interesting, and Skywrath you don't see a lot. Hunt, they go with, you got the Marana, as I was saying earlier. I don't really love Marana right now. You do go Io Gyrocopter. I think that's a pretty good combo. The offlane Kunkka is a little weird. So let's look at lane dynamics here. Kunkkas should be okay. You just kind of walk up every 4 seconds, clear the wave, and walk over to the jungle. So you're not going to put a lot of pressure on this Luna, which ideally you would. But if you can get a Torrent into Arrow, you can definitely kill the Luna or whoever's here. I guess the Treant. Treant I don't love in lane, but if you're stuck being a solo hero in lane, Treant's pretty good. So, you know, not bad. Not anything against the Marana. You can just leap out of his stuff. But who I like better? This is tough. I like the Luna here. I don't really think you have any good Space Invaders, but I like this Hunt lineup a lot other than this offlane Kunkka. I feel like this Kunkka hero is just not good right now in this current patch. But you don't really have anyone to... I guess they just have a bunch of Space Creators. Good team fight. A little bit... Mars and Axe kind of want to do the same thing, so there's a little bit of synergy there. I'll go with Hunt. I mean, both these drafts are really good. I actually like both these drafts a lot. I just... Maybe this Kunkka I don't like. Something about this draft, I can't put my finger on it. I just don't love. But this Luna I feel like has a free game. So... Looks like they want to fight top. You got this Io bottom, not paired with the Gyro. The arrow does hit on the Luna, but a good call by Axe. Wow, huge team fight. Wow, really good team fight for Bunnies and Rats there. Holy cow. Alrighty, game 2. Hunt, they go with a carry Riki, mid Medusa, offlane Tiny. I think offlane Tiny is really bad right now. I think you just get bullied out of lane. You have a... Yeah, you're paid with an AA. I think that lane's going to have a lot of trouble. Bunnies and Rats, they go with a Luna. I mean, again, this hero feels like it's going to have a free lane against Tiny and AA. And then you want your Riki to snowball really bad. Like, he's got to be a carry that just farms heroes. I don't think you're going to be able to do that against Centaur Warrunner
or a Lion Lane. I mean, these two heroes, you gotta watch out for kill potential on you. I guess I understand why the Willow went here. I like the Willow as opposed to the AA to pair with the Riki. But this Bunnies and Rats lineup I think is really good, really solid all around. You got the Grimstroke paired with the Lion, so 2 Lion ultis. The only issue I have is this Pango mid. I don't think Pango mid's that good right now. You can kind of build it. I guess if you build it damage-wise, it's okay as a mid. I just don't love it. And then... But, I mean, they're going to make space for this Luna. So I like this Bunnies and Rats draft a lot. I think this offlane Tiny, you need to do something a little bit tankier. I mean, he starts out with 0 base armor, so... Not bad, honestly. Not terrible. You got the space create and carry for the mid Medusa, but overall, I'm definitely going to go Bunnies and Rats here. Wow. Did they catch out this? They do. They kill the Willow right away. Oh! That Riki dives in under a Sentry Ward and gets the Luna Axe ulti onto the Pango. Instantly killed the Riki, blew him up. Get a buyback on the Lion here. You're not backing up on Hunt. I'm kind of shocked. Wow, you toss in. No ulti on Dusa. Lion, you gotta suck one. There you go. Oh my gosh. Kill the Centaur. I mean, they are having a tough time killing these 2 girls. There it is. Riki's left them alone. This Luna barely doesn't die. Really nice series here out of both teams. They won it. I think both these teams are pretty good. Let's unpack it here a little bit. Game 1. I think that team fight top, and then Bunnies and Rats instantly go into the Roche with it, and then, you know, they're just a good team, so they know once they have Roche, they can take the outer towers, and then they can take high ground, or next Roche they can take high ground. So they played really well here after that one team fight. That was like the game design team fight, and then Bunnies and Rats really pushed their advantage. Really well done. And in game 2, Hunt was very far. Maybe BNR were ahead in net worth. Oh, Hunt won this game. Yeah. So Hunt was really far ahead in net worth. They just held their advantage really well all game. I mean, that one team fight when they were trying to break high ground a little early, I think you wait until you have Roche on that. So either you wait till the next Roche and you just starve them out. I think that's kind of the game plan on how you take high ground. Otherwise, I mean, look at all these team fights. They just kept winning team fights here. They have a pretty solid lineup for team fights with the AA and the Dusa ulti and the Fear. Again, I would have liked to see something other than this Tiny for more team fight or something to help make space, a little bit more tanky. But overall, really good series. 1-1. You always love to see that, so good series. Alrighty, the last series of the day, we got Goon Squad versus Pot of Sloth. This was last Wednesday. I actually watched game 1 of this. I think staged cast, which is always a pleasure. We'll jump in here. Goon Squad, anything crazy off the rip? It doesn't really look like it. Looks like they can go pretty aggressive here. I think you can go a little bit more greedy. You don't have like a... You both kind of make space for each other, which is nice. But you don't have anyone that needs to go greedy. Pot of Sloth, on the other hand, I actually don't mind this at all either. They have a really nice 4 protect 1. Maybe, I think the only issue I saw, which the casters brought up that I didn't think of in the draft, was maybe you need a little bit more lockdown. You got 2 heroes that can just run away from you, and your only stuns right now are the Dragon Tail and the Lena stun. So essentially, if you get a Lincoln Sphere, you never get stunned. So that's the only issue I see, which is why I'll go with Goon Squad here. But I really like this Pot of Sloth draft. Unless he meant to spin, so I'm pretty sure the taunt does. You should just sack your AA here. Everyone get out.
Weebslayer diving on the back line, looking for Chad Thundercock. They really want Chad Thundercock. The BKB from Travieso. Chad ducking through the trees, going low ground, high ground, juking away. But everyone else dying here. MKY going down. Beta Bits is barely even scratched. Coach Steve, the real damage dealer. But look at the high health and the low damage coming out here. They will find the kill on the Platinum, maybe, but no. Cold Embrace, and now it's time to turn your attention to the Snake Lady herself as Coach Steve is out of mana and
Game number 2. This is kind of more than I was expecting, so the last one was a little weird. Anyway, Pot of Sloth, they go with a Naga, a Drow Ranger, a Nyx Assassin. So this is really greedy. You don't have, like, the Naga or the Drow can't really make space for each other. I think Bane's pretty in a tough spot right now. Then Goon Squad, they go with 5-position Gyrocopter, carry Nyx Assassin. Interesting. Roxy was going off on the Hoodwink game 1. Very interesting. So, I guess you have Lestrak to deal with the Naga illusions. Riki to get on top of the draft. I actually like this Goon Squad draft. I just think with Pot of Sloth, this is a little bit too greedy here. And then your supports, Bane, you could go something a little bit better. I just don't love the spot Bane's in. So if you get one of these two, that's a Space Creator, then you get a better support here. I think this draft is wicked solid.
In 5 seconds.
Oh my god, this is ridiculous. And that's got the refresher shard and the receptor.
Oh, they decided they want to fight.
They didn't pop the blessing yet, they didn't pop the blessing! Drow doesn't have the blessing! Coach Steve just getting pummeled here. Doesn't have buyback. He's got the Aegis though, coming back for the second life. Sharpshooter chunking away, but Doomslayer is gone. Beta Bits going to be finished off here as well. Platinum sets up the E-Blade. They're looking for a chance to kill Coach Steve again. They have a Winged Waker.
Oh my god, that sleep on the Bane!
100 health. They're chasing down Weepslayer. Weepslayer sees a Pulse Nova hit, and there it is. The dieback is there. Drow is gone, but so many heroes falling.
Who's trying to eat the
Going
cheese?
to pop up. Nola Shrek. Chad Thundercock has TP away. Oh no! You need to use song. Use the song.
Oh, they lose the base!
Megas take the Ancient. It's Goon Squad in a 2-0. Are you
Oh my
kidding me?
god. Alright, so this series was extremely interesting. This happened, I think, last Wednesday or something. So game one, this Weaver DC'd, and then, you know, obviously you're playing on a Wednesday night. You're kind of pressed for time. Everyone's got work the next morning. So they had to play without the Weaver for a while. I think Platt was microing the Weaver and the Wyvern at the same time, I would assume. Basically just sending the Weaver camp to camp. You didn't really need it. This is why it's like, if you're going to disconnect in the early game, and you have the lineup for it, you know, your carry's probably one of the better people to disconnect because you don't really need a carry until like 20 minutes. But then again, you have to win by that 20 minutes. Otherwise, because your carry's not there, you're going to lose. You have no one for the late game. So what did happen is they did extremely well early game. You see this Void Spirit 19-1. I mean, they just blew up in the early game, so like it wasn't that big of a deal that they had to disconnect a Weaver. They basically won the game by 20-25 minutes anyway, and then the Weaver just kind of added onto it at the end. Game 2 was super insane. Look at all these swings. Look at all these team fights. At the end there, you see the dieback on the Drow, and they all TP back to base because they're literally losing their base. They have to defend from Mega Creeps. They're fighting like 2v5 and winning, but they have to go back to base, and then they just stun them, and the Mega Creeps take base. It was an insane ending. Very good series. 2-0, but easily could have been a 1-1. Looked like Pot of Sloth there. You look at this graph. Huge net worth swing their way anyway, so it's potential they defeat Megas, come back here, but overall really good series. Goon Squad is playing unreal. They're a really good team moving forward. I'm excited to see how they do, and Pot of Sloth played really well as well. Alrighty, I've gone ahead and put in everyone's updated records in here, so we can begin moving these around. Obviously Victoria's Secret, I think I'm going to move up to undefeated teams. Extra I'm going to put here. And the third position, fourth position, I'm going to move Goon Squad up. They're playing so well. Very impressed with Goon Squad here. It seems like they're playing super well. I would put them above Extra, but we'll see this week. I almost want to have 2 series of the weeks, but obviously I can't do that. And I hate picking teams back-to-back. But we'll get to that in a second. These 4 teams have been playing really well. The 3-3s, we got to move all the 2-4s down. Lots of mix-up here. So, 3-3, I think Red 5 obviously still up there. Pot of Sloth, I think, again, really up there. That series could have gone either way. Midnight.Impulse, I think, is up there. Dingos have been playing really well. UnRivaled's playing really well. I would put Hog up here with these guys. And then I would have Prancing, Roosters, Grin, and InstiGators down here at the bottom of the 3-3s. And then the 2-4s, this is tough. I mean, all these teams are super good. So it's hard to say any of them should be bottom of the league. But you know, they got the worst record so far, so I have to have them down here. Again, the Swift format will get them up there. They'll get back up. So this is probably what I'll do for rankings here. I'll put Krab, keep at 1, 6th player I'll have at 2, Extra at 3, Goon Squad at 4, Red 5 at 5, Pot of Sloth at 6, Midnight.Impulse at 7, Dingos at 8, UnRivaled at 9, Hog at 10, Prancing Roosters at 11, Grin Swift at 12, InstiGators at 13, Hunt at 14, For the Memes at 15, Harpies at 16, and Bunnies and Rats at 17. So, I mean, this is like the craziest my rankings have ever been. Everyone's moving up and down all the time. I'd love to see like a graphic of all the teams moving in their spots, but you know, really good season so far. All right, finishing up here with some predictions. Gators versus Dingos. I think Dingos are playing really well. It's kind of tough for me to say. Maybe I'll say 1-1. I think the Dingos are playing so well, I would not be shocked if they 2-0'd us this week. But that's what I'll do. Impulse versus Grin. I'll give Midnight.Impulse the edge 2-0. I think Grin has been played pretty well as well, but I just have faith in this Midnight.Impulse roster. Goon Squad versus Extra. I wish... This is going to be insane. I will say a 1-1, but I would not be shocked if either team 2-0'd. I mean, they're both playing really well. That's going to be a 6 series. Red 5 versus Prancing Roosters. Red 5 versus Prancing Roosters. I think Prancing Roosters have been playing well. I'll say 1-1. I think Red 5 just been stuck in stand-in trouble. You know, they have stand-ins every week, so it's hard to find a groove. So I'll say a 1-1 there. 4 Memes versus Bunnies and Rats. It's going to be a good series, I feel like. Maybe I'll say 1-1 again. This is crazy. I'm saying 1-1 all the time. UnRivaled versus part of Sloth. I'm going to say 1-1 again. I think both these teams are so good. I could see either of them 2-0, and so when I see that, I just do the 1-1. 6-player versus Krab. 1-1 again. These are the top 2 teams, both undefeated. Could see it going either way. Krab's playing crazy. 6-players playing crazy. I could see both teams, you know, taking a win here. Harpies versus Hunt. All 1-1 again. So I'm saying every series is going to be 1-1 except for Midnight.Impulse. I think we'll 2-0. Kind of crazy week for me, but I'm all over the place. It makes sense if it's a crazy week and I'm just super wrong. I said that at the beginning of the video, but whatever, guys. It's gonna be a good week, so thank you all for watching. Good luck next week. I hope everyone has fun and has some good games.